Dark Knight's Death Metal issue 6 finds the heroes of what's left of the multiverse confront the monsters of the Darkest Knight's baby Earths. Lex comments on how he still wishes he had hair, jealous of Superman's long flowing locks. Superman tells everyone to get ready, as the heroes wonder why the monsters are just standing there, with Superman knowing that they are trying to intimidate them. Batman decides to show them their might as they become surrounded by the monsters. Jara knows that they've got the powers and the talent to defeat this, as Batman theorizes that the Darkest Knight didn't have much time to make the worlds before they destabilized the Earth's core, which Superman makes to mean that this could potentially be his whole army, something they could easily beat. Batman knows that they will leave everything on the battlefield, opening up a duffel bag filled with the previous body of the Batman Who Laughs, bringing it to life to fight for him under the Black Lantern, as Harley Quinn calls for a charge. In the passage to the Forge of Worlds, Wonder Woman guides her Lobo army into the depths. Lobo wonders why the world's hopes and fears are not there, since they should all be there, but Diana doesn't know either, thinking that the universes being at war means there is little room beyond the fight. Lobo finds that rather spooky, as Diana says that there is at least one fear that everyone is afraid of down there with them. Suddenly Lobo flies into battle with an unseeable monster, which rips through the army of Lobos. Wonder Woman knows it's the Batman Who Laughs that's the last fear, knowing that the fear of him taking form is the last terror in existence. The Darkest Knight meanwhile continues to battle Perpetua, destroying whole existences in the process. The Knight knows that Perpetua is getting tired, and he can sense it, knowing that all the crisis energy that was directed at her has been redirected to him. Perpetua knows that the being's strength is limited as well, and maybe they could come to some sort of deal, and the Darkest Knight says they can make a deal. He'll kill her and take the rest of her power. That's his deal. Perpetua blasts the villain for his insolence, ripping his shoulder open as he matches her energy with his own, telling her she'll pay for injuring him. Perpetua says that she's the only one protecting the multiverse from her kind and from being detected by her kind, and if she dies, the hands will come and they will end them all. Darkest Knight hopes that they do, as on Earth, the heroes battle the Darkest Knight's men, with the heroes finding that they are actually thinning out the monsters and turning the tide. Jay Garrick wishes Diana Godspeed wherever she is, as Wonder Woman and Lobo are set upon by the Darkest Knights. Lobo knows that Diana needs to get the journal to the Forge so they can build the machine that Lex designed, while they hold off the monsters. Diana refuses to leave, as Lobo tells her that he knew this was a one-way trip, knowing he's been a bounty hunter for a long time and there's no better bounty than to go out on than kicking the Darkest Knight's ass. Diana refuses to leave her friend, as one of the Darkest Knight's arms steals the book from her belt. Diana falls into the Forge of Worlds, finding that the journal was missing, as she is confronted by Darkseid, who tells her that the Forge dims by the moment, and being that the creations of the Darkest Knight have no souls, no hopes or fears, there is nothing to feed the fires, so soon they will go dark for good. The baby Mobius cries out as Darkseid shushes it, telling it that it will be time to sleep soon. The Darkest Knight meanwhile traps Perpetua in the rubble of the destroyed Source Wall, telling her that he saved it for one last surprise for her, thinking that it would be quite fun. Perpetua says that all she wanted to do was evolve mankind and make them strong, and the Knight knows this, knowing all gods never understand them at a fundamental level, since gods see humanity and their dark instincts and try and save them, but mankind doesn't want to be saved, they want to be unleashed. As Perpetua is consumed by the Source Wall rubble, the Knight says that in the end, the gods want saving from mankind, wanting Perpetua to die and knowing that mankind looks at her and all who beg to their better angels and laugh. The Darkest Knight kills Perpetua as the heroes of Earth begin to win their battle. The Darkest Knight's monsters begin to retreat as Batman feels that something is wrong. Superman thinks that it's because he's missing an arm, but Jaro and Swamp Thing also feel this, knowing the Earth has been shifted as the Darkest Knight arrives, reinforcing his army with even more monsters. The villain reveals that he realigned Earth so the crisis energy keeps flowing into him, allowing him to finish creating all his own planets and armies, sending out his favorite soldiers, the ones he's been saving for the hero's last moments. Bruce tries to tell Clark what their friendship meant to him, but Clark already knows. Superman tells everyone to gather with their families and fight alongside them, since they will go out together. Diana meanwhile looks over the dying Forge, knowing if that she had the journal and built the machine, she could make everyone remember all history and draw the crisis energy into herself to battle the Darkest Knight. Darkseid knows that humankind doesn't want the truth, that it is tiny and all evil springs from it. Diana knows that he is wrong, since it's only only when they fear the truth that evil rises, and to know that all history and every human life is part of one story, meaning that everyone matters and everything they do matters, since that truth connects them and binds them. Hearing herself say the word bind, Diana realizes her lasso is the machine that will help people see the truth, knowing what to do now. As Wonder Woman dangles her lasso down into the forge, the heroes of the multiverse gather together as one universe to face the Darkest Knight and his army. Superman meets with Lois, thanking her for the life he lived with her and for their son and for being his true home planet. Lois thanks him for being the best lead a girl could ever ask for as the people of Earth join their heroes, knowing that they have picked the wrong side at times, but they are there to fight as one universe. Diana begins to feel all of their history flowing back as the heroes begin to remember the entire history of the DC universe. The lasso of truth begins to glow around Diana's hand, shocking even Darkseid as Superman remembers everything, calling for Wonder Woman as the gold-covered hero erupts from the ground to confront the Darkest Knight. Dark Knight's Death Metal issue 6 brought us to the fantastic final stretch of Scott Snyder's multiverse-shaking event series as Wonder Woman reinstills the multiverse with the history of the DC universe and gives the heroes what they need to defeat the Darkest Knight. I thoroughly enjoyed Sergeant Rock's narration making a reappearance here to chronicle the hero's last stand on the battlefield, this time focusing on prayers or battlefield prayers and ones that he's heard guide people on the battlefield, which I thought was really quite on point here since this was kind of like a last-ditch Hail Mary mission for the heroes and a lot of them were actually praying. The battle was set up in a very Avengers Endgame way in that it was quite really cool to see all these little moments with characters during the fight, especially between Batman and Superman, who get kind of a little bit of a touching moment, as does Superman with his family, which was really nice. Diana's role this issue and this whole event again was utterly fantastic, and I loved her journey to the Forge and her coming to the realization that she is kind of the truth machine really here, and her lasso is kind of like the conduit to the DC universe, and a conduit that can deliver all of the history of the DC universe to all of the heroes around the multiverse, which I think is damn cool. Her new look at the end of the issue was really cool as well. It was very reminiscent of Superman 1 Million with the whole gold covering and everything. I'm thoroughly hyped for the final issue in this series, as well as where the DCU goes from here, considering we're getting led into Future State, which comes out in January, as well as whatever happens after that once that finishes up in February. We're going to be getting hints at all of that sort of stuff, so I'm very excited to see how this series concludes, as well as concludes Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's time on these characters. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10.